Hello, heroes, and welcome back to the guild. Yeah, so it's finally happened. Blizzard has targeted Ascension WoW, so it's only a matter of time before a server is going to fall apart and be closed down. We've gotten zero communication from the dev team on this. Um, so, and with like half the dev team in the actual lawsuit, it's a little odd that we have gotten no communication whatsoever. We are playing the Witch Doctor. A lot of people asked for me to play this, so I figured why not. We'll give it a shot. You'll notice I don't have any. I don't have our normal XP buff on here simply because I wasn't willing to buy another XP buff. Um, Seeing as the server's gonna be shut down probably well before we can do a whole lot more. So I figured there was no real point in it, so we are going to just level it like anyone who's new to the server and go from there. We are going to be doing the bow build once we get enough XP up to be able to pick that. Instead of a spellcaster, but it starts us off, it looks like, with one spell and one heal, which is nice. I'm hoping by the time we can pick um, the what is it called? The Shadow Hunter, I believe is what the spec is called. We get a little bit better mana management out of it. But honestly, it really just does not matter at this point. Um, we'll see how it goes. Come on, stop dodging. Um, Not really sure how well it's gonna go. We'll be streaming until probably about noon today. So I should have sat down to drink. Okay. Overall, though, Ascension has been a really nice uh, game to play. Um, Getting to experience WoW in such a unique way is a lot of fun. Um, I've played WoW for a very long time. I don't think the game has progressed in a way for retail that it's still fun for me. It's more about getting to the end game, doing mythic dungeons, doing the raids. As I was explaining to my brother-in-law yesterday when we were talking about it, the real issues that retail has for me and for a lot of people, there's a reason why people leave retail WoW to come to these private servers, is the fact that WoW has gone from a game that made you want to explore the world and do quests and discover things, and you felt like you got an achievement every time you leveled up, to a game where in 2 hours, someone who's brand new to the game could quite literally go in, make a character, be max level, and get sucked into the end game grindiness of doing delves, doing dungeons, doing heroic dungeons, then doing raids, then mythic dungeons, then heroic raids. It's just gotten to the point where they want you to push whatever the newest content is. And unfortunately, it's basically just a reskin of the previous season. The boss mechanics might be a little different and a little bit flashier, but overall, it's the same mechanic that we just had in the last raid that was top tier raid. The gear does the same thing with slightly better stats, so I'm giving it one more day. I said not yesterday, day before yesterday, because I went and watched a movie with my um, friend and his wife. They bought me a ticket to go watch Masters of the Universe. But I said we would be playing Ascension today, and so we kind of are. Um, we're having a Father's Day thing here out at the house for my dad, my brother-in-law, and his father at 1. So we're going to be sitting here playing this until probably about noon, and then we're going to go deal with that, and then the game that I'm going to try to bring to the channel um, is Last Epoch. I've played a little bit back when it first dropped, and I really haven't played it since. And so I'm going to give that a shot and see how well it does for the channel, while, hoping that I can find something that is similar to Ascension WoW that we can get back into. But I really haven't had any luck finding anything similar to it out on the private servers. And a lot of private servers are running a little scared right now since Blizzard's on this warpath. Because it seems like what they're going to try and do is shut down as many Classic Plus, quote unquote, servers as they can, because they are getting ready to launch their own Classic Plus server. And I think the reality is they're not really threatened by these private servers doing what they do. It's they don't want any competition, so that the only option you have is to go to them for a Classic Plus server. That's kind of the way it feels right now. Sarkoth needs to hurry up and spawn. But we'll see. I honestly don't know what it is. And again, there's no communication from the dev team. This thing could shut down today, and we don't know. So that's why I wanted to give it... Stop missing. That's why I wanted to give it one more day, just to see. So, people asked me to play Witch Doctor, and so I figure if today was the last day to do it, we'll do it. All right. I'm not sure what the overall player base is going to be today, even if we make it to 15 to where we can do dungeons, or 10 to where we can do BGs. A lot of people in Discord were saying that the BGs were even running super slow today. So it may be that a lot of people have already left to try and find another server, or have just left in general to go find a whole new game. Not sure. I had set this... Hold on. Select quest reward. Someone said that it took about 10 months to get TWoW shut down, so it might not be as quick as some people think. The bigger issue with TWoW is the fact that their servers were overseas. That's what took the longest amount of time. If the people that are listed in the lawsuit decide to try and drag it out, then sure, the server could be up for a while. But the biggest issue that we're going to run into is they named drop about, I don't know, what was it, like 6 names of people who are associated with the company. They're all based here in the United States, with the exception of one individual who is over in Australia. So Blizzard has a faster way of getting these people to do what they want. Oh, I'm just saying in Tiber in general, people were saying in Discord that all of the realms were seeming to struggle a bit, not just COA. Let's go sell so we can try and get some new skills. From what I was reading yesterday, while I was trying to download some other games, people were saying that a lot of the servers were struggling and having an issue with um, being able to do anything. So it may be that a lot of people have already jumped ship and have gone somewhere else, or it was just the fact that it was later at night. I don't know. But I figured, what the heck, I will do this today while we still try to figure out what precisely we want to do next. I'm gonna try Last Epoch, just because it's very similar in some aspects when it comes to like build diversity and what have you, but it's also kind of like Diablo. So true. I also play a game called Dark and Darker that basically stole the idea of a game from a place they worked. They had to pay fines, but in the end still got to keep the game. Everyone thought that they were done for sure, but the game is still going. The problem is, and yes, the developers of Dark and Darker, yes, had to do all that, and they got to keep the game. But that's because there was an agreement between both companies that they could just pay the fine and keep going. Blizzard has never agreed to allow any private server to keep going once they've targeted it. Most of them shut down once they do their cease and desist letter. There's only been a few where they've actively attempted to sue them instead of just sending the cease and desist. Grim Dawn. I'll have to go look at that one. I think I played that on PlayStation. I'm not sure. To me, Blizzard has been behaving like the kid that is at the park that, you know, gets offended, so he takes his ball and goes home. But then also makes sure that all the other kids don't have balls to play with. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, oh, you won't let me play basketball, so I'm gonna take all the basketballs so that y'all can't even play basketball. It's so dumb. Like, I would love to see what they believe their lost revenue is from private servers. Because, like, their main claim, I read the lawsuit, their main claim is that they are suing Ascension WoW, not because of lost revenue. They're suing them because of IP theft, and that it's hurting the World of Warcraft image, because anyone who comes to play Ascension WoW may believe that it's a real licensed WoW product. And when they have a bad experience with this game, they're going to have a bad experience with Blizzard. And that's not the case. I don't know anyone who would be playing Ascension WoW and have a bad experience here on Ascension and go, well, that's Blizzard's fault. No, so ridiculous. I agree. It has nothing to do with the monthly payment. I mean, there's a reason why Final Fantasy XIV is still as big as it is today. There's a reason why Elder Scrolls Online is still as popular as it is today. It is nothing to do with a monthly subscription. It is the fact that they have created a game people actually want to go to and play and enjoy playing. Blizzard has slowly made their product not fun. They have slowly made it to where the reason people are leaving and coming to private servers is because they like the character and world design of the game, but they don't like the direction Blizzard is going. Or they may just not like the policies that Blizzard has in place for their own company. I love TWoW because TWoW was boring to play compared to Ascension. Same difference. Yeah. I never did play Turtle WoW. A lot of people asked me to go play it, but at the time I was just like, you know, I'm already doing this one. Do I really want to swap? And so I never did, and then it got shut down. There is some speculation that part of the reason we're being targeted, or I shouldn't say we, but Ascension is being targeted right now by Blizzard, instead of just getting a normal cease and desist letter, which sometimes they ignore, sometimes they don't, but is the fact that we picked up, again I say we, but Ascension picked up Epoch, or whatever it's the other version, other private server that got a cease and desist letter, and then they came here. The idea is that the reason why Ascension's being targeted the way they are right now is because we picked up that server instead of just letting it fall to the wayside. So right? I think the only downside that a lot of people don't like about Ascension is the mana storms. It's the only real complaint I ever see is the fact that people get irritated at the mana storms. That's it. Man, without XP buffs, this thing takes a while to level. Like, you know, looking at the different lawsuits that have gone out, the only companies that have ever been sued by Blizzard directly, like Turtle WoW, is when they are blatantly targeting Blizzard. Ascension WoW has never targeted Blizzard in the same way. It's always been, you know, we are a private, like, that's the thing, is every ad I've ever seen on like Facebook for Ascension has been straight up that it is a private server for World of Warcraft. Not a direct competitor to, nothing of that nature. That's why I came to it originally. But my biggest gripe with Blizz is that over the years and expansions, there was too much level squishing and oversimplifying of classes that WoW lost what made it WoW. Agreed. I mean, you have one button option in retail now. Absolutely. Now, I will say, when I went back temporarily to go play retail WoW, I was kind of a fan because I hadn't played in so long, and the classes that I were playing, I was just like, I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. So doing the one button build was fine, and they did it in a way that you had to have more haste than you would have thought on a character to make it functional. So having that negative aspect of it was neat, but overall, I mean, I think one button builds kind of broke the game because you didn't really need to know your class. You just needed to know what stats you needed to focus on and then go for it, you know? Just um it was weird. Oh, hey, free food. Well, technically free drink, but Knight, I wouldn't be surprised. Especially, well, maybe not the ones that they're targeting directly in the lawsuit, but anybody else, they probably contact them once they get their information and go, "Hey, you can either get filed with this lawsuit or you can come work for us." Uh, that's kind of the way I feel like they would do it, just because they seem to be really, really bad people, in my opinion. But, like, I've been saying it since TWoW got targeted. If you made a product and the product you made was the top of its game for a long time, and then all of a sudden people are wanting to play your content but in a different way, instead of suing or trying to shut down the things that people are enjoying about your content now, how about contacting those people and going, "Hey, what are you guys doing differently? Why are people liking your content more than ours? And how can we become a partner?" Right? I mean, like, the easiest way to go about it would be to contact some of these private servers that are super, super popular, like TWoW, like Ascension, and go, "Hey, how about this? You guys keep doing what you're doing, but you guys have to pay us X amount per month." Because that's kind of how a lot of other developers have done it, where they allow for private servers and modded servers and such. It's like, "Hey, you do what you want to do, but you have to pay us a stipend or whatever per month." And it works great because people can enjoy the same content, but in a different way. But again, I doubt Blizzard would ever go that route because they want to be the only kids on the block. I wouldn't be surprised if at some point someone tries to claim monopoly. It wouldn't work, but I would laugh to watch that go through court. Oh, good. We still have 2 drinks left. So I have 1 for today and 1 for tomorrow. Well, this could be bad. Maybe we pick up, let's grab... We can get all the way up to mail, which means technically we should be doing mining and blacksmithing for this, but let's just do it this way. There. And pop. Man, I can remember first time I ever played the Witch Doctor over on Alpha. I was wearing the heirloom gear. Devin and I both were, and we basically just ran around throwing our curse on stuff, and it all just insta died. It was great. One more takedown should do it to get us enough XP to level to 5. The witch at the top is going to be a struggle bus. Okay, I thought one more would have done it, but I guess not. There we go, level 5. Maybe that's why Witch Doctor felt so rough this time. I gave up because it sucks so bad compared to the last time I played it. Most likely. I always thought, why not just try to buy the private servers or teams? If it's your assets, take them and just keep working on it. Get their team to keep going, just pay them. But then they would have to admit that their product sucks, Knight. By shutting everyone down that's making their content better, they can claim that they are the only content that's good. But if they were to buy up some of these higher end private servers and be like, hey, you guys just keep doing what you're doing and we'll pay you. You can't collect money on the back end like you've been doing. You have to do right. So it would be 100%. They would have to admit, hey, our product sucks. We want you to keep working on better product. That is 1,000% what's happening.
What do you need? Strength.
Let's see. But I don't know. By the way, just so you guys know, the games that I've been kicking around trying to figure out what to put on the channel until we can find something WoW adjacent to play, has been Last Epoch. Again, I've played it a little bit when it first came out. I'm sure you can still find the videos here or the streams here on the channel if you were so inclined to do so. So not a whole lot of experience with it. We would be doing the seasonal stuff, and most likely playing hardcore. That being said, the other one was Elder Scrolls Online. My issue with Elder Scrolls Online has been the mythics that they added, and the fact that except for Sorceress, Necromancer, and Arcanist, the other classes are woefully just not good anymore. Best healer and tanks seem to be Necromancers now. Necromancer healing, by the way, is so ridiculous easy. You don't really need to do much. you could fall asleep and just click buttons and people won't die. Uh, like when you talk about a face roll class, that's Necromancer Healing. Your top DPSers are going to be your Sork and your Arcanist. Arcanist has some massive AoE just nuke spells, which is insane. And Sork has a few AoE skills, but they're primarily going to be your single target, obliterate it before it gets to you kind of build. Then I was thinking about going back over to Final Fantasy XIV for a while. Problem with that is if we did kind of like this, where we level different classes, it would be kind of redundant because, or I shouldn't say redundant, it would just be a little bit more difficult, simply because with Final Fantasy XIV, the way they do their class sets up is I can have one character that's every class, every job, everything, which makes it unique and awesome in my opinion that they did it that way. There we go. So yeah. And then if I had the original Diablo 2 Lord of Destruction on my computer and not D2R, then I would have probably done the Project Diablo modded version of that, because it actually has some really unique things that you can do to it. Custom classes where, like, you want to be a poison build, it's got the skills from the druid in it, and I mean, just there's a lot you can do with that game, but it requires you to have the original Lord of Destruction game, and I do not on this computer, unfortunately. And the problem with Diablo 2 in general is that it is a very seasonal style game, so it's super popular when the new seasons drop, so that people are trying to get World First 99s, and then after that... Oh, I'm going the wrong direction. That's fun. I'm just sitting here talking and not paying attention to what I'm doing. So much fun. Let's heal up because we've got a bleed on us. There we go. But yeah, so those have been my ideas. If you guys have any other ideas as to what we could do on the channel, I would definitely be okay swapping to it. Positive. Yeah. So in the grand scheme of games that I've played my entire life, my top 3 are Final Fantasy VII, the original. Don't get me wrong, the remake's great, but the very first video game I can remember legitimately playing and going, holy crap, this is so great, I love this, was Final Fantasy VII. The next one would be Diablo 2, because I hated Diablo 1. Problem with Diablo 1 is everybody went in going, I'm going to be a warrior, and then you became a spellcaster because it was simpler when you got down to Diablo. Have you tried Star Wars: The Old Republic? No, I haven't. I'm not a huge... Shocker, I'm not a huge Star Wars fan. The last Star Wars game I played was Pod Racer. And then my third favorite game, and just for nostalgia purposes, would be World of Warcraft. And that's kind of why I like these private servers. But, oh, done with the snake. Go. But yeah, I don't really play a lot of the um, Star Wars stuff. Golly, that barbarian hits hard, bro. It's a great game, play and amazing stories for each class, so tons of content when it comes to that, and dungeons and raids in that game are extremely engaging and fun. I'm gonna be honest, I didn't know it had dungeons or raids. I might give it a look. Oh yeah, and the raids are 8-man, so easier to find groups for, and your role matters more. That is good to know. And there's a spider essence. Oh, I apparently didn't pick up the chest piece back here. Hold on. I thought I did. I know it's cloth and we should be wearing leather, but that's a huge amount of stats for us. How do you know about Dark and Darker? Did you play it? I played, so the fun thing about Dark and Darker is it's on a lot of different platforms. So I have played it, but I played it on, I think I played it here on PC, or it may have been the version that's on my phone. Because it had a mobile app for a hot minute too. It may still have one for mobile. But yes, I have played Dark and Darker. I like how the barbarian just took off and did not bother to complete the last quest here, so leave party. Like if you're not gonna help me with the last quest there, bud, we're not gonna stay in a group. You can run up to the top and go, oh no, there's another quest, and then have to run all the way back down. So see, there he is. Dun, dun. Sure, just do whichever one gives me the most money, I guess. This is not going to be fun. Oh wow, we hit that dude hard. I'll take that. All right. I mean, let's see. I'll look into Star Wars, but is because my goal for today is to stream technically twice. Stream this one until the party at 1 today, and then when I get done with all that, we're gonna come back and stream some more. But I'm not sure. Like, my plan was to do some Last Epoch just to see what's changed, how I like it, all that fun stuff. I messed around a little bit last night just to look at the controls and all that fun stuff. But is there a game that you guys would prefer to see, like, me do better? But but the PC is the best version for sure. You either love or hate it, but with a crazy addictive game, it is. The play tests were so hype. Have to love PvP though. Yeah, that's kind of my issue with it. Is I'm not a huge PvPer, to be honest. Maybe if I had like a core group of people that I was doing stuff with, like for example, I do play Call of Duty, but only when my friends are playing. Otherwise, I don't enjoy Call of Duty at all. Like it frustrates me. I get angry too fast, and then I don't want to play it because video games should not make you angry when you play it. That said, though, I did like Dark and Darker for the most part. It was a very unique battle royale, I guess would be the correct term to put it as. The fact that you drop in, you have to go loot some stuff, take out other enemies, and then you can, end up leaving, hopefully, with whatever loot you have to make your guy even more powerful. And then rinse, repeat. Plus, there were like NPCs in there that you could fight, because if I remember correctly, there were like goblins and stuff that would wander around that you could take out that weren't actual players, but could still give you loot by doing it. So it was more like PvE VP or PvP VE or whatever it's called. Like player versus everything or whatever. But yeah, my biggest problem with games, and this is just in general, and it's my kind of rule of thumb, it's why I don't play a lot of different types of games, is if a game makes me upset while I'm playing it, then I'm not going to continue playing it. I play games because they're enjoying. I play games because I have a fun time playing them. If I have to get mad where I'm shouting or, I feel like I need to, punch a wall, it's not fun anymore. It's stressful. It makes my head hurt. I get upset, and then I'm not relaxed. I'm not having a good time. And so yeah, there's a lot of games where I've started playing them, and then I went, no, I'm not doing that. There has been one game though that I've had to stop playing because I was spending way too much money to play it. And that was Pokemon Go. I spent basically an entire paycheck in a month just to get like Pokeballs and lures and all that fun stuff. And that was before you had the ability to basically stand still and collect Pokemon that way and stuff like that. You like had to move around and do things, and so yeah, whew. Yeah, it's a bummer blast. We're gonna try to find something similar to keep going on the channel with, but it is what it is, unfortunately, and we'll figure it out. Yeah. I wonder if there is. Let me, while we're waiting for this lady to spawn here, I'm going to do a quick little search here. Let me go Google. Let's see. Diablo 2. Is it resurrected? Here, let's just go D2R mods. Are there any? Let's check Nexus just to see. Because if there's like any really good ones that change kind of the game mechanically, better armors and weapons if we went D2R Infernal. Then there's the easier difficulty mod, D2R Infernal max skill level 30, so that allows you to get 30 points into one skill. So it looks like Infernal is level cap 199. Interesting. D2R Ruthless, but difficult and frustrating. Would not recommend playing. So yeah, maybe we go look at some mods for D2R and figure out how to get them installed and see if they're any good. Are there any? Let's click character mods. Super attractive warlock. What? Oh. Reign of the Warlock compatible. Transform Sorceress Fireball spell tree into Warlock Chaos tree with skills like Apocalypse and Abyss. Barbarian Warlock Summoner. Necromancer Eldritch Warlock. Yeah, I'll have to go scroll through that and see what I can find. Let's see. This is food. What is this? Curse an enemy for 10 seconds, slowing their movement speed by 50%. Meh. Because this one is also a curse, right? You can only have one jinx on a target at a time. Oh, so we can do both of those. So I can go like kaboom, kaboom, pop this, move behind her. Pop a heal. Probably shouldn't have wasted the mana on it, but that's fine. Oh, I was not paying attention because I was looking at our timer for the totem. Yeah, no, I played a lot of D2R when the Warlock dropped. For a while, my D2R was doing so much better than Ascension that I had stopped doing Ascension for a while. And then when the season calmed down, everybody, went about their business. unless you're Mr. Llama, who is by far one of the best content creators for Diablo. Everybody pretty much just went back over to his channel and continued watching him, and I came back to Ascension because I went from like 1,000 views per stream to like 12. So Carlos, yeah, it's a bummer, man. Um, and like we were saying earlier, it arguably has nothing to do with the fact that it's a private server and has everything to do with the fact that Blizzard just doesn't want competition when their Classic Plus drops. Isn't Elden Ring is kind of game that makes you upset and bashing head into the wall? Not anymore. Like when I first started playing Elden Ring, absolutely, man. That game would frustrate me, and then I would stop playing, and then I would go back to it, and then get frustrated and stop playing. When I first downloaded Elden Ring, it was because a lot of people were like, "Hey, if you like Dark Souls," and I was like, "I don't like Dark Souls," and they were like, "Well, you should try Elden Ring. It's a super simple Dark Souls." And I was like, "All right, I'll give it a shot." And played for about an hour, hour and a half the first day I downloaded it. Kept dying because I thought the what's his name, the big golden dude right outside as soon as you come up the elevator and he's just walking back and forth. I want to say he's a tree sentinel. Um, but I was like, oh, first enemy, and so I tried to fight it. And I was like, man, if every enemy in this game is this way, holy crap, I don't want to play this game. So I stopped, and then I found a YouTuber called Fighting Cowboy, and he was like, here's how you play this game. And now I don't recommend going and watching, playthroughs and stuff the first time you play a game. But I was so frustrated I had spent $60 on this game that I was like, okay, I will watch and see what he's doing and what I'm doing wrong. Watched him do some stuff, and I was like, oh, holy cow. I am so dumb. And so I followed his playthrough for quite a bit, but now that game is not super complicated. There are times where like I feel like I've dodge rolled and got hit, and I'm like, what is going on with this? But no, it doesn't make me upset anymore. I have to play modded though, because for the most part, the regular base version of the game is just not difficult anymore. I've played it so many times. Want to buy Bazaar tokens times 300, 25 gold, or 1 Aura plus XP pot? Want to buy Bazaar tokens by 2,800. I don't understand why you would want to do any of that, but okay. Alright, well, we're going to go run up to Razor Hill so we can collect all those quests and get our mount, hopefully. I think the most fun, Phantom, talking about Elden Ring, the most fun mod I've played has been Convergence, because I made a build and it's on the streams. I made one that I called it the Curse God, because I looked at every spell in every spellcaster class that Convergence adds, and each one has like a debuff you can hit the enemy with. And I was like, okay, that's all I'm gonna use on bosses is these debuffs, because they all do damage. Now, granted, they were all for different lengths of time. Some were 30 seconds, some were 18 seconds, whatever. But you would pop them on there, and you would just watch a boss's health just completely melt. And so when I figured that out, I was like, that's what we're doing with it. That's so from that point forward, even the DLC content, I was like, yeah, this boss was easy. He just died in about 30 seconds. So I would say Convergence is probably the most broken but fun version of the game to play. If you do play it, start with the I forget what he's called. He does all the Golden Order spells, but he starts off with a ginormous area of effect that does damage, holy damage, and it can delete everything. You could pretty much play the entire game with just that one spell if you boost faith.
May your blades never dull.
Plus, it gets some of probably the coolest weapons in the game that are faith based. If you do all of the extra bosses. Oh, hold on. I don't know why I ran off without finishing getting the mount stuff yet.
Some. Speak, friend. For the Horde. Strength. May your blades never dull.
Shift P. Mount. For me, Hidden Gem was Monster Hunter World, but DLC is too hard. I liked Monster Hunter World. I played it with a bunch of friends. And then they weren't playing as much as I was because I got super into it. So like I had like super good gear and super good weapons, and then they would log on and they would be, back at the beginning. And the downside to that game, and I wish they would have fixed it, is if I had already completed a quest and I'm playing with a friend, they should be able, like, I should be able to play with them from the jump, not have to wait for them to find whatever enemy it was that they were trying to track, and then they had to throw up a SOS flare, and then I could join them. Like, that was dumb in my opinion. Like, I should be able to party up with you, and if I've already completed that hunt, I should be able to just, right out the rip, be able to go, okay, here's where we're headed. Let's go fight this thing, Also, the fact that when you first start out, like, a normal fight can take you, like, the first enemy or the first, quote-unquote boss you come to can take you 25 minutes to kill the thing. That's when you know that game is not designed for quick plays.
Be safe.
Another good one, if you like Monster Hunter World, but you also like shoot 'em up games. What's the name of that game? Outriders. Outriders was a phenomenal success. I'm still upset that the dev team went, meh, we're done with it. It's like those guys could have milked that game for a good long while. But they made the base game, and there was such an outcry for more content that they made one DLC and went, we're done. Such sadness. That game was phenomenal. Great storyline, skills were impressive, graphics were good. So I don't know what caused them to just do a one and done like that. Hopefully another studio will pick it up and be able to capitalize on that success. Let's see. Remnant 2. Remnant 2 is a good game if you like shoot 'em ups that are Dark Souls like. I had fun playing Remnant from the Ashes and then Remnant 2 when it came out. Only downside I have for Remnant 2 is it took them a while to come up with a basically like a boss run mechanic where you like in Remnant 2 or from Remnant from the Ashes, they had a mechanic where it was basically you dropped in, you had to loot everything, defeat a boss, and just keep going as high as you could in those levels, and come out and you know that was the whole run. It was all randomized. Um, Whereas with Remnant 2, they ended up doing a boss run where you can either do 3 bosses and then drop out and get rewards, or you could do, I think it was 3, 6, and then 12, if I remember correctly, or it may just be the 3 and 12. It's been a while since I've played Remnant, but it was a unique mechanic because if you were missing items that were random drops from the world, you could do the boss runs and get the drops that you were missing. So it was an easier way for like I don't think it worked for items that required puzzles to be completed, but like just random loot that could drop in a world, you could get that by doing the boss runs randomly. Um, So there were several items where it was like, oh, I have to do this in order to get this piece of gear. I could get that. If it required you to do hardcore, you still had to do hardcore and complete whatever challenge that was to get it. So, but Remnant was another good one too that I really enjoyed. I tried playing that on the channel and it just did not do well because it's one of those games that once you kind of beat it, people are kind of tired of it, especially when you unlock all the classes and they haven't put any new classes in that game. So yeah, the more I think about it, man, doing Diablo 2 with a mod on it might actually be pretty good. I don't know. I might put up a deal later so that we can figure out what game we want to switch to, either Last Epoch or if I could figure out how to do some mods for Diablo 2, we might do that. I don't know. I'll put up a poll on the channel while I'm at this party, and while I'm gone, if you guys want to vote on the next game that we start adding to the channel until this one goes down. Like, here's the thing. I just to be clear, I'm not dropping Ascension until the server shuts down, but I am going to add something into the mix so that when the server drops, we have something to back it up. That is the current idea. This could take, 2 days before the server's turned off. It could be a year before the server's turned off. I don't know. I suspect it won't be as long as how long it took for TWoW to get dragged out. Just because a lot of the people that they've already located are here in the U.S., but unless while they're digging around, they find out that the people that are supposedly here in the U.S. are not in the U.S., in which case they're going to have to redo their entire lawsuit, and that would add more time to it. But I don't think that's the case.
You come get the voodoo.
Oh. About to hit level 8? Not bad. We're usually already level 8 by the time we get here. Because we usually get to level 9 while we're in there, and then level 10 while we're out there. So it's not that big of a difference in XP, honestly. It's about a level, 2 level difference. Okay, yes, it is true. You can indefinitely decline dungeon invitations, making people furious. I have no idea what they're talking about right now. I'm selling 4x16 gigabit RAMs for $100 in about 20 minutes. Is this a good price, or did I make a mistake? I don't know. People are special. Tell you what, the Sun Cleric spellcaster is like starting out level 1 to 10 seemed to be one of the most powerful spellcasters we've played so far. Get rid of you, and then we'll get rid of you. Throw a Healy Pod our way. I don't think I like the potion animation, personally. I want to make a witch doctor and heal a bunch after COA launch. I hate to bring it to you, Tiger, that's not going to happen. I mean, let's be honest. Technically, they could launch it still, even though they're being sued. So, they could just be like, here, we know it's not in a quote-unquote complete state for our liking, but we're going to go ahead and launch it free for everybody. Good luck for the next couple of months. So, I guess technically, yes. It could still go live. I will say, with said pending lawsuit, the fact that I saw several of the people who were named in the lawsuit on today, at least on Discord, I don't know if they were doing any work on the server, but at least they were in Discord today. I was like, kudos for you, my guy. Like, way to just be like, hey, you know what? I'm not scared of no lawsuit. Man, I'm sorry to hear that, bud. I haven't been playing it that long, but that's rough, man. I'm sorry. Let's see. Just for giggles, I'll run a while you guys are here. Oh, not start a QA. Stop that. Start a poll. There. I'll start a poll for everybody. Boom. started COA when it was capped at level 50 in the alpha. Oof. Yeah, when I started playing COA, it was it was level 60 was cap, but they also didn't have a restriction on what level you needed to be to use heirlooms. So I was using heirlooms right out the gate. And because of that, a lot of the classes that I think I rated a little bit higher were not as high as they should have been when I did my tier list originally. Hey, Grand Pavelak, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. Welcome to the guild. I gotta ask, Tiger, when the way you have your name, are you trying to imply that you are a friendly person? Because when tigers do that chuffing noise, is what it's called, it usually implies that they feel comfortable or safe around the person or animal that they are making that noise with. I'm just curious if that was the intended idea for the name. Gotcha. All right, nice. Love it. Shadow effigy. Drop a shadow effigy near you for 1 minute. Enemies when 30 minutes have casting speed reduced by 20%, movement speed by 40%, only one effigy. And shrinking jinx. Curse enemy for reducing their size and their attack power by 21 and spell power by 10. So that's a jinx, correct? So that's going to replace that jinx, because I don't really care about the slow if I'm going to be using that one. Appreciate that, Grand Pavelak. I have no idea if I'm even saying that correctly. I do apologize, but thank you. Yeah. It made the most sense. And Tiger, I did not know that that was the word over there. I've not been to England. I haven't spoken with a lot of English people, so I'm not 100% sure. But I'll take your Grandpa Valak. Valak? Valak? They would not let me put a space in. Did you try doing like an underscore? Just curious. Oh. There's currently 2 votes. It's 50-50 right now, ESO and Last Epoch, guys. I'm not sure what we would do on ESO, though. I think the content would be relatively... Well, technically, we could still do builds like we do now with streaming. And just do, you know, different characters and what have you, but I guess the content wouldn't really be any different. I wonder how much in-game currency I have, because I've been paying for their monthly subscription on ESO, and I have not played in a good long while. I don't know if you can modify your name on Twitch, because I don't really pay too much attention to Twitch that way. Probably should, but I don't. And if it ever bothers you too much, you could always see if they let a name change like that go. But yeah, Grandpa, is it Valak? I'm just curious what the enunciation is. I feel you. Kaboom. All right. Oh no, someone died in the water. Or they drowned. One of the two. We should get like the old school Sonic noise while you're underwater. Where like if you start drowning, you can just be like, it plays that incessant like boop 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 boop. All right, about to be done with the mucuses. We just need eyeballs after this. I think part of the thing going on to the stuff that we're like the games that I've put on there. There are two that we could do hardcore challenges for. That would be Epoch and Diablo 2. Um, the other two, ESO and Final Fantasy 14, they would have to be implied or self-imposed rather hardcore rules. Both like ESO would be very simple, simply because we don't have to do dungeons. Technically, we don't have to do raids or any of that stuff. We can just do the solo content. So like delves and events and stuff like that, and still do like a hardcore challenge for ourselves. Hey, there you go, bud. And then with Final Fantasy 14, there's literally no way to do, because like you have to do, especially if we started at level 1. There are dungeons that you have to do to continue the storyline. There are quote unquote raids that you have to do in order to progress the storyline. So I don't think there is a legitimate way to do a hardcore challenge run on Final Fantasy 14. The other issue that I have with Final Fantasy 14, and it's part of the reason why I was thinking going with Last Epoch, is as far as how we've been doing it here on Ascension, where we level each class and try out different specs and things like that, there's not really a simple way to do that on Final Fantasy 14. Because what I can do is, once we hit, I think it's level 10 on Final Fantasy 14, if I remember correctly, you can quite literally just run to every other profession or every other job and profession and pick them all up, all of them. And then you can be like, oh, well, you know, I don't feel like playing a tank today, so I want to play, you know, this DPS class or this healer class. And so it also gets way more complicated, because then whatever roles you're trying to play, you have to understand that class at the same level you understand whatever other class you're doing. Plus, you would have to level them all simultaneously if you're trying to progress the storyline, because I can't use a level 12, you know, scholar if my main class is level 30 and I'm trying to progress the storyline. It just won't work. So that's why I was leaning more towards like Diablo 2 or Last Epoch, because we can do hardcore challenge runs and doing builds is a lot more simplified. Diablo 2 would take longer per character just because getting to level 99 takes forever. For Final Fantasy 14, yeah. I mean, there are professions or jobs that you can pick up, but you have to be certain levels. For example, like the samurai, I want to say is like level 40 or 50 if I remember correctly, and then you've got like the gunbreaker, and there's several classes that you have to be like level 40 or 50 to even unlock. But for the starting roles, so like your pugilist, your rogue doesn't count because it's level like 10 I think to start that one. um Archer, lancer, things of that nature, you can start those as soon as you have the ability to go to all the different um major cities. You can pick up all of those, and then you have to level them to I think 30 in order to change it from like gladiator to paladin, right? Um, but the offset is if that's the way you're going to go with it, and you're going gladiator to get to paladin, then at level 30 you can just start the paladin quest line. But there's no restriction on, like, I don't have to start a whole new character to be like, today we're gonna try and play. I think I already have all the stuff I need for those. Yeah, I do. You don't have to start a whole new character. That's the plus side. Don't get me wrong. I think it's a phenomenal thing that Final Fantasy does that. But you don't have to start a new character to level a new class. You can just go get that class and then level it up to get its job proficiency. So that's where I was getting at with it. Right, row. We're up to 4 votes. Final Fantasy 14 in the lead. Last Epoch and ESO is down. Diablo 2 is at a 0. Hey, I can heal too, troll. Let's do this. Oh, I'm out of mana. EverQuest Legends released date July 28. It will cost $20 for game and first month subscription. I don't know if I'd want to do EverQuest, to be honest. I was not a fan of the original EverQuest. Wait, hold on. Is EverQuest Legends, is that the one that they did that's a survival craft game? Hold up. That's going to bug me now. Hold on. Come here, Steam. I swear I had it. Did I, like, delete it off of... Oh, hey, I have Grim Dawn. Why was I not playing... Why did I stop playing Grim Dawn? It says I've played an hour. I don't know. I could have sworn I had an EverQuest game. And it was a survival craft game. No, that's RuneScape. Never mind, I'll shut up. My bad, I found it. I'll have to look at EverQuest Legends because if it's the same general concept of EverQuest, I probably won't end up playing it, just because I was not a huge fan of EverQuest. So, whoa, up to 6 votes now, guys, and it looks like in the lead is Final Fantasy 14 and Diablo 2 if we can find mods for it. Or rather, I found mods for it. It's more about being able to find or figure out how to get said mods added. We got a heal. They hit us with 2 of those. Full health. I feel like they changed the totem, because I know at one point this totem would just start, if it was in range of attacking that guy and that guy, it would just immediately start trying to nuke everything in range. So it's good there that it's changed. I feel like I got to sneeze. There we go. Ugh, I hate that feeling. Like, you can tell a sneeze is coming, but it's just like trying to surprise you with when it's going to come out. It's goodness. Ugh. We want to go. There we go. I'll say one thing to the server being somewhat dead is the fact that I am able to sit here and take all these guys out, and I'm not having to worry about, 3 other people coming by and just nuking everything before I can get to it. So that's a plus. All right. Look at that. We almost completed all of it. We just need Zalazane and a few more voodoos, and then we're good to rock and roll. Unfortunately, we're going to hit level 9 when we turn all this stuff in. We won't be level 10. So that's kind of a slight bummer, but it is what it is. Let's just make some more food and water real quick. Okay. Quickly get some mana. Oh, nope. Not going to. Homeboy is 2 levels ahead of us. Haha. He may have shrunk us, but we shrunk him first. 100%, I've only had to deal with one guy trying to take my quest stuff so far. Currently playing Necro, and it's way more fun compared to the other classes I've played. Nice. I'm glad you enjoy it. Ugh. Yeah, we had fun playing the Necro. The Necro was a lot of fun, especially when we finally got it over to doing animation. Even though animation is supposed to be the harder of the quote-unquote specs for the class, I think it's listed that way because you're supposed to be trying to get all those animations out, plus getting your minions to do things for you. And so it can be a little daunting once you see how many summons you can do. But overall, it was way more enjoyable than doing Rhyme or Death was. So had a blast playing animation. All right, all those quests are now done. So let's go turn these in, hit level 9. Up to 7 votes, guys. It looks like we are in a 3-way tie right now with Diablo, Final Fantasy, and ESO. Oh, 1,000%. I love it. I wish that would work. Good luck finding a lawyer that wants to try and take that kind of a case, though. And the amount of money the gamers, like, I'm sure if all gamers got together that play World of Warcraft, we could probably generate enough money that we could make Blizzard back down. But at the end of the day, they're going to just claim that it's not them that's messing it up. It's private servers, and it's, people not playing the game the way they designed it to be played. So it will never be Blizzard's fault, unfortunately, that their game sucks. Or they'll point to one of their dev team people and go, it's that guy's fault, and then just fire them and claim that that's going to fix the game. So close. Can't do that until we're level 10. That's stupid. Strength, agility. I don't know what our stat's going to be, so I don't really want to do any of that. We all stop playing all the games, then they will listen. Here's the thing, man. Like, yes, that would work, but you would have to it wouldn't be just stopping the games. Like, you could still play their games because Diablo is free to play. You would have to convince people to, everybody that is subscribed to them, you would have to convince them, or probably about 75%, convince them to stop their subscription. Just have everybody go over to Diablo, and they would have no choice, because Blizzard is what funds all their other projects. And you would have to get them to stop for more than a month. It would have to be like 2-3 months for Blizzard to honestly take notice, I think. And even then, they probably would switch from just World of Warcraft needing a subscription to having an overall subscription for all their games. They would just change it. EverQuest Legends is more accessible for solo players. Now you can have combination of 3 classes in one. That's interesting, actually. I don't know. I'll give it a look, but I just overall EverQuest was never really a me game back then. It may have changed now that I'm more into like MMOs and stuff. Back when EverQuest was arguably at the height of its power, it was the MMO to play. It was EverQuest or World of Warcraft, and World of Warcraft was still relatively new when EverQuest was around as prevalent as it was. So, at least if my memory is remembering correctly. We go in the castle first, and then any of the other marines or sailors. Like sailors, I think we'll be done with when we go in here. The marines, we might need to take out a couple extra. I've played EverQuest for 3 minutes. That deleted it because it's too old and ugly. So what's the difference then between EverQuest and EverQuest Legends? Like, have they massively updated the graphics, or? Aside from the class specifics that you're talking about, like, I don't... What other changes have they made to it, Phantom? Because, like, didn't they just release, what, a couple of years ago, a new version of EverQuest? But it was literally the same graphics. They just updated it for, like, modern computers or something. Or am I, again, thinking of RuneScape when it comes to that particular thing? It may have been RuneScape that got upgraded for modern stuff. But still, I mean, really? Just instantly silence me, bud? Oh, man, up. I can't tell if the sounds I'm hearing is from a Sun Cleric or if it's from the Chronomancer. But I heard somebody around here somewheres. I think that's a Sun Cleric. Oh, whoever it was, they took out all the... Oh, it's a Star Caller. I was way off. Geronimo. We just need 2 more of these guys. Can usually find some outside the castle. Unless that guy took all of them out. Nope, there's one. Need 1 more Marine. And the one that we nuked at the front should be up here shortly. It looks like a lot of stuff is respawning, so there should be a Marine that spawns up here. Here in just a second. No changes in graphics. Oof. That might be rough, man. Alright, quest complete. Let's go turn in all those. Actually, let's go do encroachment. And then we can turn it in. Alright guys, we're at 7 votes and we currently have a 3-way tie. We're going to need somebody to help break that tie up. So if you haven't already voted for what the game we're going to add to the channel is, make sure you vote. Please, please, please. It'd be a lot of work to add 3 whole games to the channel, guys. Not really. Especially since we stream 6 days a week. Like, adding, well, typically we stream 6 days a week. This week has been a little funky because we went and watched a movie yesterday instead of streaming, but it's all good. But yeah, right now the leaders are Diablo 2 if we can find some mods that sound enjoyable to it, Final Fantasy 14 and Elder Scrolls Online. And thinking about it, ESO probably wouldn't be that big of a difficulty to do. I definitely would not be doing the mythic rings for it because that just makes me mad. That something like that was added to the game for no, like, it does not benefit the game in any way to have those rings. Let's go spawn some more mana. You know, Diablo 2, we saw that there were some pretty decent mods. If I can figure out how to download them, that might make Diablo a little interesting. Final Fantasy 14 would probably be the hardest one that would fit the channel, quote-unquote, build guides, because there's not really builds you can do with Final Fantasy 14 because of the way the class systems are set up. There's no meta build, so to speak. It is, if you are a paladin, it is you wear paladin gear and use paladin skills. Like, that's just kind of the way it rolls with that. And then, you know, same thing if you're a white mage, the biggest difficulty you're going to have is making sure that you're healing correctly with, you know, the healers, because they don't have voodoo over there, so it makes it more difficult to get heals off. Oh, this is gonna be a little wonky here. Get these quill boars. I want that bow for when we hit level 10. mana up. We want to grab that bow. Dang it. I mean, it's good that we're grabbing XP because literally we could go turn in like 2 quests and we'll be level 10, but I was hoping to get in and out of there without grabbing that. And actually, boom, that gives us an extra quest to turn in. Okay. Me personally, I think the 2 easiest ones that we could do, well, 3 easiest ones that we could do for the channel, that would make sense the way we're doing it with, you know, character leveling and build development and stuff like that. Easiest ones would be ESO, Diablo 2, and Last Epoch. I'm not 100% sure on Last Epoch just because I haven't played enough of it to know how those classes work. I do know that there are, 4 main classes. Each class has 3 specs that they can be, and each spec kind of changes how the class plays, from what I understand. For example, if you pick the, the Acolyte, which I think is the Warlocky, like, Dark Summoner type build, it has, like, bleed mechanics, summoning mechanics, fire mechanics, things of that nature. When I was doing the quick peruse to see if anything had updated or changed since the last time I played. So yeah, I'm not 1,000% sure, but like you can change what skills you use, how to level those skills, things of that nature. So build diversity is quite big on that particular game. But I don't know if there's just like, you know, I haven't looked it up to see if there's like meta builds for it or any of that kind of jazz. I literally played for maybe an hour with Devin last night just to kind of run through and see what's changed and how it works and all that fun stuff. We also tried, someone recommended Guild Wars 2. That is definitely not a game for me. That thing was confusing as all get out. The leveling on it was weird, and yeah, it was rough. I think I played it for about an hour and a half before going to the movie yesterday, and it yeah, it made my brain hurt. And games don't really make my brain hurt like that. Oh crap. Do I have enough mana to heal? Maybe. Run! Nope, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die! Ah, I got it down too late. Well, good thing this isn't a hardcore character. Alright guys, we really need somebody to break the tiebreaker for us. We've got Diablo, Final Fantasy XIV, and ESO in the lead. Or if they put a vote into Epoch, it's going to be a 4-way tie. Path of Exile, it's the best game if you like character progression. Oh lord. Diamond, don't get me wrong, Path of Exile is a great game. If you like doing mathematics on a grand scale. The thing about it is, like, the baseline mechanics for that game are very straightforward, very simple, very user friendly. When you get into doing your builds though, oh good lord. That would be a game where I go, hey, we're gonna play this build, and then I go look up said build, and follow that to a T, because it is crazy the amount of things you can do in it. I mean, like, let's see, do I still have another page pulled up? Like, just to show Path of Exile, because I would do Path of Exile 2 skill tree. Like, when I say that these, like, the base game is simple, but like, this is some Final Fantasy X craziness. Like, because, like, yeah, you start off at one of these nodes and you can work your way through, and you have to figure out, you know, like, apparently we start there, because if I tried to put a point here, you know, it makes you go that way. But, like, you have to figure out, you know, oh, I want to do whatever damage. Like, let's see here. Warcry, if I want to boost Warcry, right? So I have to make sure I get down to here. Or if I want to do, let's see, Warrior's a terrible one because I never play the Warrior. Like, let's look at Druid. Druid's the newest one, right? So we start over here, and you get simple things like, you know, do we want spell damage and attack damage increases, or do I want armor and energy shield? Which for me, I would go tanky, so that's what I would do there, right? And then you would literally go through. Okay, do I want mana regeneration if I'm going that route, or do I want more, you know, armor and energy shield? Obviously, I would go that route with more armor and energy shield. And then, you know, so let's say I would go there, and then I would pick this up, right? Because this would give me 15% increased armor, 15% armor also applied to elemental damage, faster start energy shield, like stuff like that, you know? But following a build guide and then doing small adjustments for your liking is the usual progression, and the skill tree isn't even the complicated thing. I got like 30k hours. Whew, jeez. In Path of Exile 1 or 2. Because that would put you up there with, like, at that amount of time, that puts you up there with, say, like, Llama when it comes to Diablo 2. Oh, we're up to 9 votes, everybody, and it is currently ESO in the lead at 33%. Everything else is at 22%. But Mr. Llama has recorded 30,000 plus hours in Diablo, I think specifically Diablo 2. It could just be Diablo in general. But the dude is like the front runner when it comes to builds for Diablo, so. POT is more for casuals. So you're talking just the original Path of Exile. I played Path of Exile. My only complaint with it is doing the trials to get your, what is it called, your ascendancies or whatever. Those trials frustrate me to no end, man, because you have to do them solo, and they made those things to be an absolute nightmare after you do your first one. Here's level 10. Woohoo! So agility is the stat that we want, because we're going to be doing the shadow hunting. Embrace the techniques of Wamsandi and become the living embodiment of the Loa's wrath with powerful ranged attacks and shadow magic. Then you have voodoo. Embrace the voodoo. Cripple and enfeeble your enemies with the power of manipulation spells. And then you have brewing, which is the healer spec, which, I'm sorry, this is probably the worst healer in the game right now. Harness the shadows of dark alchemy to concoct potent brews and potions, channeling healing energies to empower your allies. We're going this one. Oh, we get 2 skills. Whoa! We get Malfic Arrow. Transforms your Malfic Wrath into Malfic Arrow. Okay, that would be this. Launch a voodoo arrow at the enemy, dealing 85 ranged weapon damage plus 30 as nature damage, healing you equal to 40. Wow! Self-heal. Woohoo! I was never able to party up with anybody when I was trying to do the Ascendancy trials. I mean, I'll take your word for it. I don't have as much time as you do on the game, but when I was playing it, I was playing it with other people, and we weren't able to party up doing the ascendancy. Maybe we were doing it wrong. I don't know. I agree. It is a very steep learning curve compared to World of Warcraft. Reclamation. Shoot a quick voodoo arrow at the enemy, dealing 90 range weapon damage plus 15 nature damage and collecting spirit. Usable while moving. Spirit regenerate 2 health and mana, repeating every 4 seconds for 12 seconds, stacking 5 times. Nice. So both of these heal us. This heals us equal to the damage dealt. This gives us a stack that gives us a total of 10 health and mana per 4 seconds. So, what, 4, 8, 12? So, we get 3 hits of that, so... oh, what? Oh, it just spammed your chat twice. Okay. Gotcha. Yeah. Alright, here we go. We don't need auto shot. We don't need that on here twice. We're going to keep that hex, but we're going to move that there. Mirage. Become invisible for 20 seconds, gaining 5 spirits, leaving a copy of yourself behind and reducing the threat each second. Direct damage or healing done will end the effect. While invisible, you can only see other invisible targets and those who can see invisible. I mean, we'll keep that on our bar just in case, but I don't think it's really what we need.
Go forth to victory.
Let's finish turning everything in. Accepting all the new quests.
Speak, friend.
Let's see if we have any agility gear that we can equip real quick. We don't need that staff. That's agility leather. Yes, please. That was agility leather as well. It's literally the same piece. Strength agility, fine. Can I dual wield daggers with this guy? I can. Haha! Nice. And then we want that bow equipped. Any recommendations for you for a fun take spec in COA beta? I haven't played a whole lot of tanks yet. The one that we've been playing lately has been the Sun Cleric tank. Once you get to level 13 and then level 20, that tank really does take off. The most tanks you'll see in the game boil down to 2 classes, basically, so far anyway. And that's the Knight of Azeroth and the Primalist. Primalist is probably going to be your more OP version of it quickly, whereas the Knight of Azeroth really picks up, from what I can tell. I haven't played the tank version of it yet, but in dungeons that we have done, the Knight of Azeroth really seems to pick up somewhere around that neighborhood of about 20 to 25. And then really just becomes a beast of a tank. So that's kind of where I'm at with that. Oh, up to 10 votes, and right now we have another tie with Last Epoch and ESO. Will it let me modify my my thing here? Hold on. I don't want to end the poll. Yeah, I can't edit it. I would have edited it and I don't know. Maybe Path of Exile 2 personally, just because there's classes there that I really like, but that's fine. We might add that anyway just to see. Now, let me know which way you go and which one you have fun with. I think Primalist would probably be the most fun, honestly. Do I have a bow that has like a green effect? I mean, there is this one. It's probably the nicest. Actually, no, I've got that one. I just wish I had a set that would fit that. That works. Maybe I change my wardrobe so we can make it fit this bow. Let's do that. Sets. Sure, why not? Doesn't really scream witch doctor, but whatever. Who cares, right? It's all about having fun. Miss. We need to change the look of this. It's under fist weapons for whatever ridiculous reason, even though it's technically a dagger. If you like complicated builds, then yeah, go Knight of Azeroth. You'll hit like a truck, but like I said, until about 20 to 25, tanking with it, at least from what I could see. It could have just been that we had a terrible tank, but oh, okay, that deleted that guy hecka fast. All right, not bad. Now that explains the little purple baubles we've seen on witch doctors. I thought that was their spell build, but apparently that's maybe all of their builds potentially. Oh, that's how we know what our Healy stack is at. Okay. I think we need to switch these around since this has a cooldown and this is going to probably be our primary cast. I'm looking forward to the tacos for lunch today, guys. I'm telling you. I feel you, man. It's not fair. Need one more Sork, 2 more Myrmidons, and then we just need this big brute guy. And then we'll be good to rock and roll. There's the brute. I'm hoping that the sorceress and a Myrmidon at the top have respawned. For each active spirit on you, you have a 5% chance for your reclamation to cast an additional time. Okay, nice. Lowest strength increases your agility and your nature and shadow damage dealt by 3%, or reduces the cooldown of ooh. Well, it's already like a 6-second cooldown, right? Or 8 seconds. This would go to 4, so it would go down to 4 seconds, which would be nice. Capybara Paradise has a ton of people on it, but it's classic like Turtle WoW. I think it's the same Turtle WoW Asian team. And I tried it, and the problem is even though it's good, it's not COA. I feel you on that, man. That's going to be the biggest issue with a lot of private servers, is it's not going to be a COA. Dang, I need one more sorceress. I'm just gonna stand up here until that one respawns then, I guess. Or actually, because we can just target the town. It's fine. Because all I gotta do is hurt the town, and then I can run over here to turn that in. It's not that big of a deal. But yeah, I'm all for, if I can find something that is obviously not a direct copy of Ascension, though if the Ascension team was smart, that's what they would immediately be doing, is just creating a new version of it. Thankful to play it, though. Maybe I'll level one more character before it's too late. That's kind of the way I look at it right now. Oh, we forgot to use our book to level up. Brewing cocktail. Brew. Oh, that's more. Okay. And better stew. And power Wuju. Give an ally some Wuju Mon, increasing their melee and ranged attack power by 30 last 30 minutes. You can have one Wuju active at a time. So that's the one we would want then, instead of this one for spirit. For heals, certainly, but it's all good. Oh, oh, we're up to 13 votes, and right now Last Epoch is in the lead. Diablo 2 is at 15%, Last Epoch 38%, Final Fantasy 14 is at 15%, ESO is at 31%. Interesting. So Epoch is in the lead. By the way, I'm leaving this up until I get off in an hour. So whichever one wins in the hour, that's probably the one we'll stream when I come back tonight, and then we'll go from there. We may play around with other games too. I'm super curious out of those 4 which ones you guys would like to watch me be a noob at. So. Dun, 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 dun.
Blood and thunder.
I was reading some stuff on the outcome of the Turtle WoW and Blizzard lawsuit that went down, and at at some point, one of the people in charge of Turtle WoW, I guess, sent a letter to Blizzard saying, "Hey, look, we know we're in the wrong. We admit that, but you should make an outlet for people to create private servers that are essentially licensed by you as official private servers, so that you can kind of control like the content there, but at the same time make it very known to people that that's not official content, it's private content." And Blizzard never responded to that. So, are we allowed to use guns, or are we strictly bows? Bows and crossbows. So getting this gun over here is kind of pointless. I mean, there's a ton of, like, look at Bethesda. Bethesda gives zero craps when people mod their stuff. I mean, there's look at Fallout 4. It is probably the most heavily modded game in the world, besides Minecraft. And like, I could be wrong on that. It's just my personal opinion on it, but I'm just like, come on, man. Like, there's definitely bigger fish to fry out there than servers that are just trying to make your content better. I hope something leaks from a hack or something, and somehow the code base and everything was immediately live again somewhere else. I don't know if it's true, but I could have sworn I saw people talking about how the code was leaked. I don't know if they were talking about COA specifically or one of the other servers, but I swear in chat somebody was saying, in-game chat, not chat here on YouTube, but I swear I read somebody say that. They do, because they're not restricted by some CEO whose whole position is what makes us more money. That's why Blizzard is going downhill, man. They've got a guy at the top that doesn't care, or a person at the top, or a board of people at the top, whatever the case may be in their aspect, but it's being run by people who the entire concept went from let's make a great game that people want to pay for to let's just make crap people have to pay for. That's what it went to, and it's destroying their game. And they know it, and they don't care. Yeah, Swiffers, it's on borrowed time. They are currently being sued to shut down the server. The lawsuit named, it was like 5 or 6 people in association with Ascension WoW. So it's only a matter of time before they shut the server down. No idea, Swiffers. We're currently throwing a vote on YouTube right now for what game we play until either A, we find something similar to COA in the private server arena, or we find something that we all enjoy watching me be a noob at as well. So Ascension has not said a single word, Trizzle. At least the dev team hasn't. But the lawsuit is officially filed. So whether they say something or not to us, it looks like they're just going to try and carry on, at least so far anyway. It looks like they're trying to just carry on as if nothing's happening and try to get, I guess, more money to maybe combat the lawsuit. I don't know. It's odd that they're not coming out to say one way or the other. Let's go with more damage. Did he give me the other quest to go talk to? Yeah, I did. Okay. I'm gonna go grab up that quest so that we can do all the harpies and bags and stuff at the same time. It would be nice, but at this point, I'm not really expecting any communication at all from the dev team. You know, they've been oddly quiet. If it was just a rumor that somebody made up, then, you know, they should have come out immediately and said, hey, this is a rumor, this isn't going on. Probably, if they don't shut it sooner. You know, now they might be talking internally on what they want to do or trying to figure out if they have a legal defense or whatever. I don't know what their process is, but, you know, one way or the other, they should have come out and said, hey, you know, no, this isn't true. It's, you know, somebody just made this up, whatever. Or they should have come out and said, yes, Blizzard filed against us. This is the actions that we're trying to take, or we're internally trying to come up with a solution, whatever. Like, there should be some form of communication. But the fact that we've had silence from their dev team, and people are talking about it in all 3 Discord channels that I'm a part of, with no one saying anything from the dev team, is just weird. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, any video game company, regardless if it's, you know, a private server or if it's a legitimate, you know, company, if you're getting sued and it hits to where people know that it's a thing, you should be responding immediately, going, hey, here's what's up. This is the plan in motion so far. You know, bear with us while we try to figure this out. You know, roadmap isn't affected currently, whatever. You know, just give some information. But this complete silence does not help. Well, the lawsuit dropped on a, what, Thursday? No. It dropped Friday, I think, is when the announcement hit. So maybe you're right. Maybe they're taking the weekend to collect themselves and then come back on Monday and go, here's what's up. You don't even think they're going to tell the community what their game plan is? Or are you saying that Blizzard will use that as a way of saying, hey, look, here's how they knew what's up, kind of thing? Probably. You guys might be right on that. I'm not all familiar with how lawsuits and that kind of stuff work. I've thankfully never had to go through that process. So I've never had one of them fly down and attack me like that. Let's go turn in Queen's Decree, and then we can grab up the last 2 bags that we need on the way to go turn that quest in. We hit level 11. We already put point there. Agility, that wow. We get a lot of agility increases. Just like right off the rip for the archer. That's insane. Oh, we need to go turn in what's her face's quest too. For Lost and Not Forgotten. Let's see. Up to 16 votes currently with Epoch in the lead. Just keeping a running tally for you guys on there. By the way, if Epoch or D2R wins, we're gonna probably do them as hardcore runs, especially Diablo, because I'm more familiar with those classes than anything on Epoch. But I noticed last night that Epoch does have a hardcore challenge, and then speaking with Devin when he's able to stream with me on that, that would be the route that we go, would be hardcore runs on it. People talking about potential RICO. I mean, they are claiming, so they have set it up to where if the federal government thought so, that they could, in fact, try to do a RICO case against the company. Because they found several locations that are listed as holding companies for Ascension, but only one person is listed as being the sole company owner. So there is a potential there for, if they discover that there's tax evasion or something of that nature, that RICO could be brought in, but unlikely. It does look like it's going to be a civil suit between Blizzard and the developers of Ascension. Yep, they are being sued by Blizzard. Shiver. So it's only a matter of time before they end up pulling the plug. Just like every other server that has been sued or sent a cease and desist by Blizzard. Up to 20 votes. Epoch is still in the lead with ESO as a close second. Jeez, talk about mana not being a problem. The fact that we're just getting mana back for using our basic ranged ability is crazy. I agree. If Blizzard would actually give people what they want, people wouldn't be going to private servers. The other problem too, I think, currently, is the fact that Blizzard is in the process. So I've heard. I haven't gone and really dug into it yet, but I've heard that they are going to be releasing their own Classic Plus server. And so it may just be a case of they're trying to get rid of anybody that is running a quote-unquote Classic Plus variant so that they are the only one on the market. And as much as I wish that could be the basis of somebody going and suing them for having a monopoly on it, they do own the copyrights for intellectual property in the game, both physical and digital medias of it. So unless that copyright laxes and they forget to update it, no, according to the lawsuit, all but one of the main people that they've uncovered is based here in the United States, both California and Arizona, I believe. At least the people they've uncovered so far are, yes. Up to 21 votes, ESO and Epoch are now tied. And we've got 40 minutes remaining before we close that and figure out what the winner is for tonight's stream and what we potentially add to the stream cycle until the server goes dark. Okay, not gonna lie, this is definitely a powerhouse of an archer. The people that recommended this, I'm sorry to say we didn't do it sooner, because this thing is hitting like a truck. The fact that we're getting the spirits that give us health and mana back every 4 seconds is crazy. The fact that we're hitting like a truck is great. Absolutely. Swiftzer. I'm having an absolute blast on it so far. Yeah, we're only level 11, and I didn't bother to go buy an XP buff for it, but yeah, it's a lot of fun. So we're leveling a little bit slower than we normally would. We'd usually be about 13, 14, almost 15 by the time we finished all of Duratar and started the Barrens, because usually by the time I hit Barrens, I can do Dungeons. Of course, if we had heirlooms on, we would be hitting 15 before we ever finished Razor Hill and doing Dungeons before we ever finished Duratar. So oh, we need to empty out our bags, man.
What's up? Have a good one.
That's cloth. Trying to see if we got anything else that we can equip that's good for this guy. It doesn't look like it. That's strength agility, but no extra damage. So, yeah, nope. To be honest, they should just unlock level 60 now and just let us have some fun. Absolutely, I agree, Jebri. In fact, I was saying that earlier is, you know, because somebody was like, rip, it'll never go live now. If I was them, I would just be like, hey, we don't care what the state of it is. We don't care if it's broke to all, you know, dimensions of the 9 realms or whatever. But, like, we're going to let you just have it and just put it on the live server and go from there, man. But I doubt they will do it.
Your blades never dull.
But in the meantime, we're going to have as much fun as we can. I can't wait till we get to Orgrimmar so we can just empty out these bags. Good lord. We're almost level 12. At level 12, I think we put 1 point here so our agility bumps by 5%. Reduces the cooldown of Mirage, doubles the duration of Mirage. Don't miss. There we go. It's like, good night, man. Alright, there's all those that we needed. Boom. That's a 22, and it looks like Epoch is now in the lead. ESO is still a close second, followed by Diablo, and Final Fantasy XIV is pulling the rear. I'm not shocked, though, with Final Fantasy XIV. Like, don't get me wrong, I enjoyed the game. It is a phenomenal game. But for the kind of content that we do, I kind of threw it in there just to see what people thought, but I just don't think it would be viable for the way we do builds. And streaming, leveling each class, and figuring out what we like. Come on! Out of the 4 that I have up there, Diablo, Epoch, and ESO are probably the easiest ones to do. Diablo would take the most time. So maybe we wouldn't say, oh, let's go to level, 99. It would probably be like, let's go to level 60, because that would still take a while to pull off. I don't know. They do have that staff that gives you 5% extra XP in D2R now. To be honest, yeah. Okay, I already read that one. Alright, we need to go into Orgrimmar. We need to empty out these bags because holy cow, there is just so much stuff in here. We want to keep the leather. I don't think we've actually gotten any leather working done. I already own that, so delete. There. We'll just delete everything that's in that little quadrant there and call it good. There's level 12. Let's pick up some more agility. Mimic Ward. Summon a Mimic Ward for 12 seconds for the duration when you cast Malefic Arrow, Reclamation, and Loa's Brew. The ward will also cast it on your target. Oh, nice. That actually wouldn't be too bad every minute to have a shadow helping us do more damage. We might end up having to pick that up. Your Mimic Ward will now summon one additional ward. Nice. Damage and kneeling done now has a 5% chance to reduce the cost of your next spell or ability by 100% for 10 seconds. Death Drought. Drink a potent voodoo drought that slows your body to a death-like stillness for up to 5 minutes, causing you to feign death, which may trick enemies into ignoring you. Wizened. Increases your maximum mana by 5% and reduces the mana cost of spells and abilities by 3%, stacks twice. So it'd be 10% and 6%, which actually would be really good, even though we're not really running out of mana all that often. Cleansing Idol. Drop a Cleansing Idol near your allies within 30. One poison and one disease effect removed every 3 seconds. Reduces the mana cost of your wards, idols, and effigies. Allows 40% of your mana regeneration to continue while casting or reducing as your spell pushback suffered. Okay, so none of that works. Not for the build we're trying to do. Concoct a minor rejuvenation mojo that can be used to instantly restore 100 health. Reclaim soul, bringing the dead ally back, and Hex of Malice got an upgrade. Nice. And it doesn't look like we got one of the little items. If you go in that cave that we were just in, some of the, or you have a chance at getting an item to drop that you can also turn into Neru Fireblade. We just didn't happen to get one, so bummer there. All right, we've got 19 minutes left on stream. Sorry, 17. No, 27 minutes. Haha, 27 minutes left on stream before we have to get off and get ready for this Father's Day party here at the house. And that will also be when we end the voting to see what we stream tonight and try to add to the channel. We may stream whichever one wins. We may stream tonight as well as tomorrow. We may also do a dual stream tomorrow as well, where we start off with the new game in the morning, and then later that afternoon, evening, we switch back over here to Ascension. I will continue putting Ascension content up until they either have to turn the server off or somehow magically convince Blizzard to go away. One of the two. I know which option is more likely, but that is that. Hopefully we can find another private server that isn't being targeted by Blizzard that has something very similar to Ascension. That would be really nice with custom classes and what have you, but I'll keep an eye out and a lookout for it, but so far I have not seen anything of that nature. We need to find a vendor. Imported fruits. There's definitely somebody there we can sell to.
For the Horde.
4 stamina staff. We'd lose the 2 agility and some attack power and stuff like that, but that does way more damage.
Speak, friend.
Ugh.
Yaboo.
Look at that. Already up to almost 2 gold, and we're only level 12. Granted, I'm not trying to level professions or any of that stuff at the same time right now, so that's good. Up to 22 votes, and Epoch is still in the lead. Da, 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 da. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, there's a necromancer in front of us. It's an animations necro. I know that because they have 2 of those gizmos following them around. I don't know how far in front though he is. His stuff just despawned. That was weird. We haven't seen the necromancer, and I don't see his pets anymore either, so he must have gone up over that direction. It'd be funny if he was taking a flight point and his summons, instead of, you know, being desummoned while he was flying, they were just running along the flight path. That would be hilarious. Up to 23 votes, and Epoch is slowly pulling ahead there, guys. Poor Final Fantasy XIV. It is still in dead last. Can I see how many votes it has? Nope, it won't let me see how many votes. Oh well. Oh, what a bummer. Alright, I think when we hit 13, we put 1 point in here to reduce the cooldown. I think we just go, so that'd be 13, 15, 17 potentially, maybe, I don't know. Toss spectral glade that strikes an enemy, passes through, dealing 83 shadow damage and reducing the shadow resistance by 13 for 5 seconds. Usable while moving. or Spirit Eclipse. Unleash your spirits on an enemy, dealing 10 shadow damage every 0.2 seconds for each active spirit. Each spirit explodes on impact, dealing 9 shadow damage to nearby enemies within 5 yards. Now I like the Shadow Glaive better.
What do you need? Tug tug. Victory!
That would actually go down here with the food and water. I think we'll have enough time to finish potentially the Demon Seed quest and turn it in before we'll have to log so I can get ready for this party. I don't know how long the party is going to be. I cannot suspect that it's going to be an all-day kind of thing. So I'm going to be hanging out with my dad and my brother-in-law and his dad for Father's Day. That's what we're doing today instead of next week. And then from there, we'll be streaming again. Depending on what they're doing. I mean, if they start watching like a sports game or something of that nature that I'm just 1000% not interested in, or the conversation is something I don't bother to keep track of, I'll probably start to stream a little bit sooner rather than later. But I suspect it'll probably be around 5 p.m. Central when we start streaming again. 24 votes, and it looks like so far Epoch is going to win as the game that we will stream when we come back. And then, like I said, tomorrow will also be a dual stream. We'll start off with whatever, most likely Epoch, since it's winning right now. We'll start with it, and then we'll come over to Ascension tomorrow evening. And we'll just bounce between the two, I guess. One day will be Epoch, one day will be Ascension, and we'll just keep doing that until Ascension shuts down, I guess. And then we may add looks like ESO, since it's the second one. If I find some mods for Diablo 2, I might attempt some modded Diablo 2 at some point. I'll get with Dev and we'll look at the mod list and see if there's anything that just seems super fun to add. But we definitely have to find it for D2R. Man, this one guy is still trying to buy Bazaar tokens for 100 gold. Good luck, bud. Alrighty. Oh, I don't think I'm going to get the heal off. Just go invisible. Just completely reset the fight. Jeez. I was making enemies left, right, and center, my guy. But that's fine. Really? Alright, let's go turn this in. We only had to clear out half the gosh dang camp. To 26 votes. Epoch is still in the lead at 38%. It is slowly climbing to that 40%er. I think we're going to be doing hardcore challenges for the most part on Epoch, just to let everybody know. Unless just it becomes way too difficult to try and do hardcore stuff. Actually, we'll probably do hardcore anyway as stuff to do. And then, you know, we may do it to where we have like 3 days of Ascension and 3 days of Epoch, and out of those 3 days, one of them's a hardcore day, and the other 2 are just leveling different classes to see what we like, kind of thing. Might be the roundabout way we go with it. I don't know. We'll see. I'll have to really dig into it. In fact, we actually might be able to do this and this before we log. Because it says we still have 13 minutes before I have to get off to go help get ready for everybody to be here. Or at least see if my help is wanted to get ready for everybody to be here. It sounds like they may be moving vehicles. That might be why I hear doors shutting. I don't know. I don't know if they need me to move my vehicle. Chromicraft is the best private server. What makes Chromicraft the best private server? Caldonis. Non-profit and no pay to win. JJ, so this class right here is your mix of dot damage, hard-hitting single target damage so far with the agility build, and then you have a healer build. I'll be honest, I don't see many Witch Doctor healers just because it's all dot healing. With from what I've been told, a few hard-hitting single target heals, but all of their heals take way too long to get built up enough to really do anything. And Voodoo doesn't allow you to track your dots on targets, so a lot of people try and stay away from this class as a healer. Especially when there are other healer classes that are way more powerful. I mean, the cultist alone is probably your go-to healer because it allows you to do melee damage to heal everyone in the party. So I would argue that Ascension could technically be considered non-profit, though you can buy things to donate to them. So in that aspect, I guess not. And there's no real pay to win for this. I mean, you can pay to level faster, you can pay to get mounts or cosmetics or heirlooms, but there's nothing on the in-game store that you can buy that would be capable of giving you an edge over somebody else if you were wearing exactly the same gear.
Look top. Go forth to victory.
I will say what I like about this build compared to the other ranged builds that we have, the innate healing and mana regeneration this has is great. What's your favorite class in this? Honestly, right now, my favorite class is the Pyromancer. Still is the Pyromancer. Necromancer was pretty fun too, but Pyromancer is probably my most favorite just because it obliterates so much stuff. In Draconic form, we get the Drakthir. They've changed how Drakthir works, or Draconic works, to where it's no longer about breath attacks that you're having to build for. You're just spreading damage like crazy. So it's a lot of fun, a lot of flashy spells. So Pyromancer's probably my favorite right now. All right. It's just a bunch of people talking about the lawsuit in chat. I was trying to see if there was anything really going on since chat seems to have picked up a little bit in game. Let's get over to Crossroads. Turn everything in that we can. I hate sneezing. Let's see. 28 votes, guys. Epoch is now massively in the lead at 43%. Closest one to them in a tie is Diablo and ESO at 21%. Final Fantasy has completely lagged behind at 14%. Caldonis for Chromicraft. Are there custom classes? Is it the same base 9 classes? Like what's going on specifically with it in terms of overall content and class stuff? Because I think what makes Ascension so popular is the fact that we have custom classes and they're all slightly different from each other in ways that make them feel absolutely unique, but still give you that general like sense of this is a tank, this is a DPS, this is a healer, for the most part. So I'm just curious what makes Chromicraft, aside from the fact that it's non-profit and no pay to win, you know, as far as the general gameplay goes, is it more like traditional WoW, or is it more unique than that? I'm trying to look it all up right now. That didn't sound good. Progression, let's see. So they do take donations. Talent calculator, here we go. This will tell me, so it looks like it's going to be all of the base classes here. So it looks like they've got Death Knight added, potentially. Warlock, Warrior, Shami, all that fun stuff. So it looks like they are up to at least Wrath of the Lich King content. But outside of that, it doesn't really tell me a whole lot. We have glyphs, so inscription looks like it's going to be a viable profession there. Is blood the tank like it originally was? I wonder if we have the auras that broke the game back then. I don't know. I'll look at it and I'll see what's up on that, Caldonis. Maybe it's good enough to replace Ascension. I don't know. Okay. Wait, there is a server that is fun and near Ascension level fun? I don't know. I could definitely go check it out. It looks like it's up to Wrath of the Lich King, but it's using all of the Wrath of the Lich King stats, essentially, is what it looked like. So I don't think it's going to be in the same category as Ascension, having new stuff like that, but off camera, I'll probably make an account, go check it out, and see what's up with it. Alright, no reason for me to grab more quests. I've only got 2 minutes, and then I actually, unfortunately, have to dip out so I can go help get everything ready. So, we're just going to sit here in the inn. So far, I am absolutely loving this thing. I know I've said that on several classes now, but this is actually doing a lot of fun. We're an absolute powerhouse. Mana is not being a problem for us right now because building spirits, we get 10 mana every 4 seconds, which is phenomenal. I don't know if that part of it will upgrade over time, but it's nice there. Let's go look at the deal here. So we're going to go ahead and end the poll. I will do a, let's see here. I'm going to do a 1 minute countdown. For the poll. Get your votes in now. All right, and then we'll come over here. 1 minute timer. All right, there we go. 1 minute timer started, everybody. And then we're going to go ahead and end the poll, and then we'll end the stream. We're up to 29 votes. Epoch is massively in the lead, though, with Diablo 2 coming in second place now. But yeah, so we will we'll definitely be streaming something by the end of today. Like I said, it'll probably be around 5-ish that we start the stream, unless it's just going crazy slow with this party and communication is lacking, or it's a conversation I don't really care to be a part of, because sometimes that's how it goes with family. And then we'll be streaming, but I definitely want to go make sure that we are, you know, that I'm trying to be as helpful as I can. So that's the end of the poll, and we are at kaboom. There we go. Looks like Epoch is in the lead. Diablo 2 is in second place. ESO followed up in third, and Final Fantasy lagging way behind at 14%. So there we are. That is what we will be attempting. Probably try a hardcore run tonight, just for giggles. See how well, how well that works out. We're basically going to be coming at Epoch somewhat fresh. Again, I have played it a little bit to test it out, to see if it was something I would potentially enjoy doing for the channel. Last night with Devin for about an hour, and then so I really haven't gotten too far into it. I do know that there are loot filters for it. At least last time I played, there was loot filters, if I remember correctly, or I may be remembering PoE 2. I honestly don't remember off the top of my head right this second, but we'll get into all of that. We'll see how it all goes tonight, and hopefully you guys will join us for that. It's super sad and frustrating that we finally found a game we could call home, and it's being deleted. We don't know when, but eventually it will be, unfortunately. So I will catch you guys in the next one. Stay safe out there, have fun, but as always, stay legendary, heroes. Peace out.